sound effect for Charlie. Forward, draw the sword. Forward, up and rally.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with this Scottish campaign. The year is 1764, and I think I have what I've been looking for. Alliance broken, Prussia, France. So one of the main problems up until now, or one of the big sort of things that was up in the air, was would Prussia support their alliance with me, or would they support their alliance with France? Well, Prussia just declared war on Württemberg, and France disavowed it, the military alliance, as they will not join Prussia to attack Württemberg. So the alliance right there is broken. However, I sided with the Prussians, so I broke my alliance with Württemberg instead. And also, here's another big thing: a sheep farm in Algiers, which is probably unnecessary because we are looking at the last village being built, which is this village right here. More ships being recruited, extra troops in Scotland, but I think we have now nation destroy pirates. Oh, that was another thing, but someone just took over. The French just took out the last pirate holdout. I was a little bit worried because my fleet has just arrived up here, and I did note a full stack of pirate ships right here. So I was a little bit worried that my fleet would be intercepted. That is taken care of now with that. Anyways, so where were we? Since this happened, I can't remember where we ended off, but I think it's almost 10 years or so ago that we left off last time around. The king is still alive. He's collecting mad people though. The mistress might not be mad, but the rest of them, pet hermit and landscape gardener, and of course he's morally impaired. So the guy's just a pervert doing perverted stuff. Yes, so the big thing that's actually happened, which just happened one turn ago, was that I noticed that I went through. I can't remember what I was doing, but I noticed, oh, Denmark, I can actually trade with Denmark. I can't trade with Denmark anymore, but I could. And I was like, oh, okay, Denmark, how about we trade? And Denmark was like, no. And I was, okay, well, I pay you 25,000 for trade. And they were like, no, how about this instead? How about you pay me 630,000 plus some random technology, if I remember correct, and I will become your vassal. And I was like, what? Sure, why not? And I think because right afterwards, you might notice here when we look at Scotland that we also have the Duchy of Curland as a vassal. Now, it could have been that I've, by mistake, accepted them becoming a vassal. I think, though, what it is that Curland was a protectorate of Denmark, and when Denmark became a protectorate of me, then I assumed the protectorate of Curland. So both of them, rather than it being Denmark being mine vassal, and then Curland, or we should go the other way around. Curland being the vassal of Denmark, and Denmark being the vassal of Scotland. Instead, what it became to is they're both vassals of mine. I think that's what happened, because I cannot remember that I paid anything near for Curland to be my vassal. But anyways, we've got two vassals by a happenstance out of nowhere. I'm just gonna make sure here that France is at war with Prussia. Perfect. It couldn't have been better. This is the exact moment I was looking for. So the thing is, I was actually thinking even before starting this episode, that was starting to prepare for it. I decided earlier today at work, when I was thinking about it, I thought, you know what? If I'm going to prepare for this sort of world war, I'll be preparing forever, and we've already pushed through with so many other things. I better just start it, and, you know, part of the chaos is going to be part of the fun, even though I'm normally not like that, but today I am like that. So, I think we'll go ahead and start by declaring war on the Russians, and then we'll go from there and see sort of who does what, because Prussia is still allied with the Spanish. So if I declare on the war on the Spanish, the Prussians might not side with me. Anyways, we're gonna start with Russia. So we'll ask Russia, declare war, call my alliance. I am not gonna call my alliance, because I think everyone would join, but I'm not too sure. So I'm not super interested in having that. We see a lot of here, so it could be that tons of nations have decided to break their alliance with Russia. So Georgia broke it, Dagestan broke it, Austria broke it, Spain broke it, France broke it. Oh, they were allied with France. I didn't realize that. And Russia and Württemberg. Yeah, Württemberg has a lot other things going on for it. They were, however, joined by the Bavarians. Right, so we're at war with the Russians and the Bavarians. Starting off there. Then I guess the French are next. Just because of the fact that Spain is allied with Prussia, and I still want to be allied with Prussia. So we're gonna go ahead and cancel trade agreement. I wonder how much did it drop. I should have checked beforehand, but I think the trade and tax income were neck and neck, so we're imagining we lost 20,000 there. I'm making 133,000, and I've saved up 3.6 million, so we should be fine. And then cancel alliance. Now we have lost a lot of points with France, and now comes the big thing, war. I'm not entirely sure that Sweden is going to join me in this, and I would rather have Sweden as ally. As I've said most of the time when I make alliance, it's not because I want their help in war, it's more that I want them to just keep them from not attacking me. So let's go see who joins here. So trade agreement with Louisiana, of course, joins the motherland, and oh, looks like Spain. Oh, all of France's allies join them. So the Spanish join them. The Westphalians join them, Württemberg joins them, and Louisiana territory joins them. That also saves me from having to declare war on Spain, so Spain cannot trigger their alliance with Prussia. So everything worked out perfectly, sort of. So this is what we're currently at war with. So we've got a big blob here in Western Europe, basically all of North America here, or the coast here, and then bits and pieces here of Russia. Oh yeah, this territory is controlled by Bavaria. I forgot that, the Bavarians bought it. So I think we'll start, I guess, going through here. Could be one of the starts, because they have nothing here. So we'll have Ross Adelton and Keith. Oh yeah, some generals have died in the process here. So Keith Anderson has taken over. Perhaps he should lead the attack then. So we've got 1,300 French troops defending Venice against probably 15,000 of my troops. So they stand no chance. I would demand surrender, because we wouldn't lose any troops. However, Keith Anderson needs experience, so I'm gonna go and out-resolve it. We lost 610 soldiers, while the French garrison was taken out. We didn't gain any points, but we just gained Venice. The thing is, one of the things that I just thought about now is that I have sent all my spies over to North America, and I don't think I've kept anyone, or very many anyways, in Europe, which could pose a problem. So we're marching up here. Now, since Bavaria is at war with us as well, I might have to detach troops to go north to deal with the Bavarians, but I'm hoping the Prussians will deal with that. They have plenty enough troops here. Right, so we took Venice, the big port, and the classical university. We also have some vineyards and steam engine mill, which I have not been able to develop that technology yet. So that's pretty good that I got that. I also think their military committee building is actually more advanced than anything I have currently. Oh, the unhappiness is immense. -42, and that is with my garrison troops. 32 occupation, 25 due to that, 2 because of the people in government, 7 to industrialization, 16 for cultural unrest, and then 3 from culture. Okay, the university has to go, and then, I mean, these buildings will help a little bit, and the fact that I take away the university is going to reduce it by 25, and all the building up the buildings is going to help on this. But Jesus Christ, that was bad. And I probably should switch technologies to go towards technologies that actually further happiness. So abolish slavery and anti-clericism, which is, I realize now, it's going to take 40 turns or so to get that done. Verona can still try and do something while it's being broken down, but yeah. So that's the start there. Then we go up here. Yes, Kirk Cohen has died, and his Henry Reed has taken over. The commander that I actually set over for Kirk when he first died, he died. That guy, and I commented on how old the guy were. He died a turn later. He died 1 turn after I'd put him in command. He died. So they're gonna march in here. This is also an out-resolve. We have a little bit less than 3,000 men, which is a mix of some older style troops with Hanoverian troops. 7,000 men though is heavily in my favor. I'm gonna out-resolve this one. We lost 1,000 men, which is a little bit much, but there's so much to be done today that there is nothing for it. Here's another university, and again, tons of unhappiness. I think this might be a little bit more manageable. So I might not burn that university immediately, like I did with the other one. But one thing I will do is that this needs to be turned into a trade port. What I might do is I might hand over Hanover to the Prussians, just to make sure that I can keep going. Because my plan, of course, is not necessarily to hold as much territory as possible, but to destroy my enemy and to keep the key points. So I think I have much greater chance of working on capturing like North America and holding that than to hold certain bits and pieces of Europe. Then we got the Polish army, which lays siege to Königsberg. This one, I feel like this one is actually not manageable in terms of an out-resolve. The enemy there's only 200 troops less of them, and this army is freshly recruited. So we'll lay that on the siege for now. Then this army down here, the Bengal army, needs to start marching up through the Russian wasteland to hit this right here. I'm expecting a Russian attack, so we do have this little fort here, which is, if they attack that fort, it's going to be the first fort battle done here. I think we also might have to recruit some extra troops because we do now have enemies here. I'm not entirely sure what the French got here, but I can recruit a lot of these sort of Cossack troops that I can send that way. So now that is done, so we've started on the Spanish campaign, which now turned into a lot more because a lot of the German states have sided with France in this war, so we're actually looking at a much larger bit. I was hoping that this campaign would be around the coast, but that does not look to be the case. Also here we should start to attack enemy trade with our ships. So this port right here will be attacked, and then this port will be attacked, and then they're trading going through. Where is the next port? There's a port here as well that needs to be attacked and burned. There's very little enemy ships, what I can find. So it looks like I have somewhat of dominion in the Mediterranean, at least now. So we've taken out 3 ports here. They weren't doing anything through here, but they were doing through here and here. So we've hit some of their capacity to continue the war. And we're gonna do the same along the coast here with France. So they're not trading anything here, but they are trading in first in Calais. We're gonna attack there. Then we're gonna attack Le Havre. We're gonna take that out, and then up here we're gonna attack the Brest dry docks. So we hit that as well. Should hit this Bilbao as well, and Porto and a few other places, but for now we do a little bit limited, but you know, hitting them economically right from the start here. I think I've done everything in Europe then. I want to make sure a little bit where all my spies are, or the ones that are still in Europe, because I think a lot of them... we have one guy here in England. He should be sent across into France. Then I think most of them are northwestern Atlantic. Yeah. And there is where we're headed now. As far as I can remember... Oh yeah, Louisiana has a trade port here. New Spain didn't actually join the Spanish because that was because the Spanish... Oh, here's actually a rather large Spanish navy, and my trade fleet wouldn't be able to withstand that. So for the safekeeping of the fleet, we'll retreat away from this area. I'm gonna check the other trade nodes really quickly. we do have a Spanish ship here, 40 gun, which could quite easily attack some of these fleets. But I have really large fleets here, and as far as I remember, all of the area here, I mean, sort of, there's no one here that's a threat, so that's fine. I am building more ships. I did note that a few turns ago France launched the first rate ship of the line, so I'm launching 4 of them, but I think it's probably better to have a large amount of 54 and 74 gun ships than having just a few of the really large ones. And I just noticed that we have a Russian fleet up here. How is this? How is this even remotely a balanced fight? 2 of my 56 against their broken down ass ships. I'm just because that crap. If I draw in even more ships, you know what? If they come close, I'll catch them. Right. Let's go to North America then. What the? How the crap did that even work? Given that we'll probably have so much cultural unrest, first I was actually thinking of, you know, I'll land up here and I'll work my way down. But I think the best is probably to strike at the centers of recruitment. First, I'm gonna get my spy ship to go in, and I think the best way would be actually to land the spies somewhere close to Boston. Now, this is kind of dangerous because I should have really prepared more and taken a closer look at where I was actually going. But here we are. So we're gonna have 1 spy going that way. I'm gonna have 1 spy. Do I have more movement range for the fleet? Not really.
Seeing, but unseen.
I would really need more spies in Europe. So we've launched 4 of them. And then, do I need more? Some might be old, some might be, who knows. So we'll launch all of them. I'm talking about it like I'm launching drones. And then there's an army here, right? But all the armies are the same composition. So right here we've got Finley Kid. He's a kiddie fiddler. No. That's his name. That's not his profession. Alright, so we do have good full stacks protecting these areas. So he goes ashore, but given that it's a 40 stack, he's not going to take that on by himself. Was this a 40 stack here as well? Yeah, close to. Right, I would have liked to launch at more areas. Like I would have, preferably, I would have launched at Quebec, Boston, Philadelphia, and Williamsburg. That was my plan, because those are the big centers along the coast here. However, seeing that the French have stacked such huge armies in and around these two, I don't think I dare. Wait, a lot of this is just generals though. Would I dare it just to be able to spread my armies further? This is also a lot of generals. But I'm not entirely sure if I dare launch a single army against this one. I would definitely be able to launch a single army against Philadelphia. So I think we'll do that. Perhaps I should fight this fight and see if I need to launch more troops. Right, so here we've got Ewan Forbes, and he's going for Philadelphia. The French kind of shot themselves in the foot by not having a stronger navy. So Williamsburg would have fallen quite easily. I feel like they have so many cannons here though. I feel like this one, we'll try this one first. Depending on the result of that, I will launch the armies differently. So what I will do is I will reinforce this one by a second army, depending on how it goes here. But I think we'll send... But we'll not send in one army here alone against this force right here. Instead what we'll do is we'll send it down here. And so that one will head towards Maryland and then to Williamsburg. But what we'll do then is we'll take this Forbes army and we'll attack Philadelphia. So what we're looking at is we got 3,266 men against the enemy army, which comprises of 3,278 men. However, they've got a lot of cannons. I just realized also they've got 24 pounders. I just was able to start recruiting them, as well as they've got their howitzers are double the size of mine. So not only do they have 2 of those, they have twice the amount of it. I do think I have stronger cavalry though, because I have the Scottish Cuirassiers and Regiment of Horse Cavalry, while they have Colonial Light Cavalry. So it could be that I could run the cannons over before they're able to do that much damage, but we'll see. A lot of it comes down to the fact that perhaps the enemy general being only a 2-star, which generally sort of gives the appearance that he's stupid, because most generals start as 3 stars. So perhaps France has not sent its best people to the colonies. With that said though, we'll have the first fight here in this World War I. Ewan Forbes versus Bowie. Now here we are on the field of battle. We've got a sleepy little town right in the middle of the deployment zone, which is probably not going to help them. Hopefully they'll deploy all their cannons in here. Right, I've put all my line infantry right in the center here, with the grenadiers on the right, and they're going to advance through here and to wherever the enemy is. I've split the batteries back here so that a devastating counter battery fire will only take on like 1 battery at a time, and I hid the howitzer right here so that it hopefully would avoid getting counter battery fire. With that said, let's go ahead and start, and start by advancing the troops in a general advance towards the enemy. Cavalry should probably be moved up here. In terms of what I want to target with the howitzer, there's a high concentration of enemy troops right there. That's not good. Let's go ahead and have these 2 units charge to try and get these 2. So both of them are... No, one is howitzer, one is a 12-pounder. Could be that the 12-pounder, we should all organize them to flank that so that they don't ride into the canister of the 12-pounder right away. And these guys are kind of sitting there, so I think we'll continue fire on them with the howitzer. Doesn't look like the first shot did anything to them, so probably missed everything. Here comes the second shot though, see if that perhaps gets anywhere closer. No? The shots landing all over the place. What I want to do though is, seeing as though they're not targeting my guns, what I want to target is the enemy cavalry. It's only light cavalry, but I think like we could easily get rid of them, and it would help me a lot not having to fight enemy cavalry. Oh shit, I forgot to order these guys into the attack. Oh, I think they were just done. I was lucky there that I remembered the cavalry charge. I think we might have hit them. Clearly we didn't. My howitser's doing really poorly. I guess so did theirs, because I just crushed it. Perhaps it's better to target something in the middle here, or perhaps just order them to attack the ground. Have an easier time of hitting the enemy that way. The cavalry is kind of protected by all these houses. I forgot to move one unit up. God damn it. Prospectors. We'll see if we have one unit attack from either side here. Oh, he's going... What's he doing? Now he's going over this side. I want to hit these guys in the back before. Oh, they're trying to move. Yeah, they are. God damn it. They moved across. They were trying to cross the spikes, the bastards. Let's try that again. They lost 20. Now they're coming at me. So it's not... They're not fighting right up there. The prospectors were beat. Let's see if the native units are as easy to beat. We've lost 20 troopers. And they've lost 70 of their men. But they're quickly falling apart there. And they're about to... We're about to win that fight. That should actually get my grenadiers reset their course towards where the enemy actually is. I will go after that general. And the heavy cavalry should leave the hill. And clearly the howitzers need to be moved closer. And my guns are still organized, or they're still set to attack the enemy, the two enemy cavalry units out here. Oh, I was lucky there that it didn't follow the unit. It could have followed the unit right over there and got themselves killed, which... Oh, and you broke. And when you broke, you decided to kill yourself? How did they break? Fighting the general. They didn't even kill the general. So the enemy doesn't even get the debuff of having the general killed. Well, that's bullshit. But it looks like the enemy is concentrating all their troops up there. Let's see. Have you march forward? Right, they have rallied. I need you to take out the prospectors then. And you can continue after that. And then I'll have the cuirassiers go through and kill that cannon while the other unit goes this way. And we should be gold. Right, run that one down. And then for the infantry here, we can't attack across here until the enemy guns are dealt with. What I'll do is I'll do this, and then I'll 2 units go through there. Alright, perhaps actually we should have the grenadiers coming through here. They will fight it. Alright, that's fine. They're gone. They're not coming back. Rally your troops there. You rally there. You're on your way forward to a position where we can bombard this. My cannons are still going strong. Having these guys run up and then kill this battery might allow them to fire the guns. Go on. Fire your pistols. It's like an execution. They lost like 10 guys with it due to that pistol shot. And the unit's gone. What I want to do is I think we'll concentrate the heavy cavalry down here. And what I can have these 2 units marching up and aiding the grenadiers once I ordered the grenadiers to take part in their attack here. And I continue to try and shoot at the enemy's cavalry unit there in the line. What we need to wait for is the howitzers to get into play, so let's go ahead and jump forward to the part where we're ready to strike. And here comes the howitzer shots. Let's see if they strike home. No, they did not. Apparently we broke down this house though. I think batteries back here don't actually properly reach. Oh, no, 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 what happened here? The bastard had placed a bomb right in the middle of town. And my grenadiers sort of exploded. God damn it. Now, perhaps at this point it's good to say that this is actually the second time I am attempting this battle because the first time crashed. And I ran into this bomb again! The funny thing though was the bomb that's on this side, which I didn't run into, but I had a really funny thing in the last battle, so I'll probably include that at the very end, because I thought it was rather funny. Basically I said I sort of anticipated a trap, and then I walked straight into it. But I won't say any more. Let's see if we can't take care of the batteries here and allow for my troops to be able to advance. I won't be able to advance on any of this until their gun batteries are gone. I also realized the my batteries are kind of too low, so they're hitting this ridge here and not going over. So I kind of had 2 options. Either I roll them back or I roll them forward to try and be able to hit, and I think I'm gonna roll them forward actually to see if I can't get that close. Right, so the first of the 3 batteries, actually there's 4 batteries, but I think I'll advance once these 2 are gone. I think that's fine. So once these 2 are gone, that is when this will spread into one line and move across and move towards the enemy. Perhaps I might need to advance my grenadiers here a little bit to give them a better angle on the enemy cannons. I think they might have been out of range actually. They bloody well, I ran into that twice. Both times it, like, you know, exploded and destroyed tons of houses. I think though last time around it killed more of my grenadiers, which is perhaps surprising, because this time around we were all, the entire brigade were walking through there. I think last time it was only one unit, but here the entire brigade was walking in quite thick formation, and somehow they managed to survive. Right. These 12-pounders will be rolled way close to the point where it will be down to deploying canister against the enemy. I think perhaps the fighting here might trigger the entire enemy force to come marching down against us. But it looks like this unit is about to kill itself against my square, which I do like. There's no way that light unit is going to be able to make it through there. I think we'll keep 6 units on the line, and then we'll have 2 in reserve. And now the cannons roll up. I will have the heavy cavalry head over there. Now I think because they'll ride below here, I'm sure the enemy cannons will still try and fire at us, but I don't think they will hit us. Okay, so we are receiving fire from their irregulars, which if it's anything like what happened last time, is not very good, because the auxiliaries did a real big number on me. Yeah, I think most of these cannon shots are going below. What we'll do is we'll make sure that this one doesn't come back. I will ride through, hit this unit and the other, and kind of try and go through here to hit their cannons, and that will allow my units to advance, hopefully without suffering a ton of casualties. Right, go for that one. And hit it on the way. And then kind of punch through. And you too. Right. Grenadiers. Back in formation. I don't know if any of those shots are landing anywhere close to where they're kind of needed to land. But I'm sure the howitzer has done some damage since it's been firing for quite a while. So just by the sheer amount of shots being landed on the enemy. Okay, hold fire, because I think you fired on this one and it was enough to get it to retreat. We did get the auxiliaries to retreat, but we haven't gone this battery to surrender. It just did get the 6-pounder battery as well, and then we should be able to advance. If nothing else... Ooh, I think that one landed really close. Oh, spikes, damn it. That unit might not survive. All of that just woke up, sort of. With that, I'll order this entire line forward. And I'll order the Grenadiers to open fire. And in anticipation here of an attack. Oh, hold fire. You will march up. The guns are coming up right behind. Heavy cavalry will be moved in to deal with that. One unit will go for hitting the enemy in the back, while this one will go to deal with that. Actually, you two can stay in square, and then the reserve units will move to fix the gap. Actually, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing now, because there's so many enemies there. Pull back slightly on either side, and then the two squares. The heavy cavalry is needed to strike there. You need to strike that to keep them off us, and then the Grenadiers need to be moved harder here on the attack. A lot of good shots. I wonder if I can shock them into submission here just by sheer willpower of massive charge. Oh, my cavalry unit was actually broken by the enemy, which is not good. You know what? Let's do it the same on this side. It's just light infantry. But that wasn't great. I think it worked. Kinda looks like it worked. Just a Scottish charge to break through. Oh, and at this point the howitzer should hold fire. What I should do is I should actually turn the gun around and face the Marines. Why didn't they deploy the Marines? Probably their most elite unit out of the troops they have here. Why didn't they deploy the Marines with the rest of the army? No wonder you dumb bastard managed to lose. Everyone go after that one. And then the howitzer will aim for that. And most of the enemy has now been vanquished. It surprise, surprise, it went better this time around than last time around, but perhaps that's not that big of a surprise, since I must have at least... It would have been embarrassing if I didn't lose, or if I didn't learn anything in between the battles. Oh, there's a cavalry unit as well. Let's see. If I'm lucky, we're set off to fire canister right as they come at us here, before they go into... This one's ready to fire. Good. I probably would have liked you to fire at the line infantry instead. To fire at the Marines. But I had enough cannons to fire at the Marines as well. If you please, see them off the field. And with that, we won our first battle in North America. In quite a while. It was a few decades since we were here fighting last. But there we go. Victory against the French. At, where are we? Philadelphia? Or which... I think it's Philadelphia, right? We'll see soon enough. And here's the result of the battle. We deployed 3,266 against their 3,648. We ended up losing 781 plus 2 units, 1 cavalry unit of each. The enemy lost more or less their entire force. Now I know why they didn't deploy the Marines with the rest of them, because the Marines were reinforcing from outside some wooded area somewhere, who God knows. 92 men of the enemy force survived the battle. Highest kills goes to a regiment of horse, which is the unit that was completely wiped out, down to the one man being able to leave the battlefield. But then they have the other regiment of horse, and then Scottish Line infantry bring up the most of it. Cannons, I guess this cannon was the one that was able to fire on the Marines, getting 133 there at the end. Grenadiers doing pretty okay in the killing. Right, so there we have it. The first major area has been taken over, and it will allow me to recruit a lot of different troops here, which is going to be needed because I didn't realize the French had so many troops in the colonies. We might expect counterattacks. With this though, I think that this one does not have that much cannons. So I might actually risk it to send an army there. So we'll have one of these ships go into Plymouth Harbor. But then I want to make sure that I secure Quebec, and that one has a lot more cannons. So I will send Dallas Patterson. Dallas Patterson will go to whatever French name they figured out for that one. Harbor. And then for this harbor, we'll send there Michael Brown. Michael Brown. Wow. He almost sounds like an American. Great American accent right there. Right, so we've set that. 2 armies going for Quebec. 1 army. Mr. Brown going to deal with this one. I'll attack, but I'll play it defensively. It might look like there's a lot of units, but a lot of these units are colonial units and light troops, and I will be relying on my guns to do a lot of the heavy lifting in dealing with this, followed by a massive countercharge. But I think we'll leave that off for the next episode. Important bit is going to be repairing a lot of these structures. I do not know why they built a place like that there. I'm gonna go ahead and burn this one down. We do not need to spread any more French culture here. We're going to do the exact opposite. Or, yeah. And then the classical university, while I would like to keep that, there's so much unhappiness here. We're gonna have to turn that down. The cultural unrest is almost as much as for the Arabs. Also, a lot of people are dying here because of the devastation. No, actually, there was an immense food shortage before we got here. The food shortage is expected at close to, was 5%. Tax burden is about as bad as our devastation by the army. So if we are coming in as a double tax. So it's a good start, I would say. We managed to claim then 1 foothold by claiming Philadelphia. And then in Europe, we were able to claim Hanover and Venice. And then I laid siege to Königsberg. And we made somewhat of a progress towards Tartaria. And with that said, I'm going to be saying what I always say. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this. And hopefully, I'll see you guys for the next one. Oh yeah, great Scott. I almost forgot. The one little anecdote. I guess I tack it on here at the end. So that will come and then, or that will come and then the end screen. So don't be surprised here if we're put back into a battle screen or a battle. Because it's just getting my reaction there to being fooled by the AI. But with that said, now I'll say what I was supposed to say, which is, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. I wonder if they're not even looking the right way. How is this gonna work? Is this some kind of trick? And then, as we get really close... Oh! I just said, is this some kind of trick? They'd placed a bloody bomb there. They wanted me to get close. What? I thought the AI was gonna like twist the entire unit around in a second or two, and then yeah, just like they did there, and then shoot me. I didn't expect them to have planted a bloody bomb. Jesus Christ! One of their volleys. I don't think one of the natives' volleys, more or less, took out my unit. What the crap?